what the hell happened to good old games? Let me just list a few. Tomb Raider 1. Yes, Tomb Raider 1 was amazing. Siphon Filter. Yes, it was a game, not a drink. Siphon Filter on PS1. It was groundbreaking. The very first driver game, Driver 1, when you had to drive through Miami in a muscle car. It was amazing. Yes! Basically, it was a clunky game. It was crazy, but still, it was amazing. I remember getting Driver 1 on a demo disc and played it all freaking night long. It was sweet. And still, we had Carmageddon. We had... what else? We had Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped was the best game ever. We had shooters like Medal of Honor. Yeah, I know. Some of you guys watching this video are not my age bracket. I'm 30 plus years old. So it goes out to most of you guys who are watching this, and you are the old veterans watching this. But still, it was great. Now, let me tell you a story, right? You will understand this, whether you are a 30-year-old or 20-year-old, or maybe if you are in your teens, you will understand this in a second as well, while watching this Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. It's in the beta, anyway. So, hear me out. Here's the story. So, I was literally 12 years old. My brother was 11 years old. We played Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1. Now, back in the day, we had no memory card. So every single freaking day, we had to start from the freaking beginning. Yes. So I remember when we got our first memory card for our PlayStation 1, my brother had this fantastic life challenge of his own to play Final Fantasy VII from beginning to the end. Remember, back in the old days on PlayStation 1, Final Fantasy VII was a 3-disc game. Yeah, I know. I totally understand. It's hard to grasp that there were games that took 3 simple CD-ROM discs to play. But X-Files was one of these games, and loads of other games like Final Fantasy IX. Most of Final Fantasies were like at least 2 to 3 discs long. But long story comes short, my brother had this fantastic idea that he's going to play through Final Fantasy VII, all 3 discs in one go. Obviously, he wasn't able to do it because we had school back in the day. But I remember watching him play with Cloud, Sephiroth, Aerith, Tifa, Barrett, and whoever else now, yeah? Grinding through levels, going through dialogues. Seriously, back in the day, literally, we had no English knowledge. I mean, come in, at the end of the day, we are Europeans, right? So back in the day, we couldn't make any sense of what the characters said. But we were invested. Granted, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake out right now, so most of us can have this amazing nostalgia feeling, then just sit down, boot up the game, and have these amazing voice actors playing out these characters. But back in the day, we had to imagine, what would Cloud, sound like? What would Barrett sound like? What would Tifa sound like? Back in the day, it was different. And it was sweet. We had to use our imagination. I remember back in 1997, yes, some of you were not even alive at the time, but bear with me on this. Back in 1997, when I got my hands on Tomb Raider 1, I was amazed. I thought, hey, a couple of months ago, I was playing Mario on the SNES. And now I have this full-blown adventure woman with guns, holsters, pressing triangle and just holster the gun, or pressing triangle again, getting the guns out of the holster, and just pressing X, shooting at wolves, bears, sometimes people, getting through, I don't know, jumping sections, getting through a game that has puzzles. I was like, wait, it's the next generation. It's amazing. And then Tomb Raider 2 came out. And then Tomb Raider 3, 4. And it was amazing. Every single one of these bad boys was a finished game. It was amazing to live through those times. Yes, granted, we have Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which is a great game. We have Cyberpunk 2077, which is yet another great game. We have, what else? Last of Us 1, the OG Last of Us 1 was the only game in the last, I would say, 5 years that had me invested in the storyline, in the characters. Since then, everything became a clusterfuck of microtransactions and forced online gameplay. I mean, at the end of the day, okay, Red Dead Redemption had amazing online gameplay, and GTA 5 had amazing online gameplay, but who asked for this? We were invested in the characters, in the story, in the dialogue. We had to use our own imagination to imagine the characters' voices. Now, I don't know, man. I just feel like that playing through most of these AAA games is just like a chore. The last game I played from beginning to the end was Resident Evil 3. And that was amazing. It's on my channel. Right now, currently, it has like 15,000 views. Which means that some of you guys are invested in the story and the character building and whatnot, as much as I do. But what happened to great games, great stories? I can still remember my brother playing through Final Fantasy VII in his teens, not understanding anything of the dialogue, but still, he was invested. He cared through the death of Aerith. Yes, I know, I spoiled it for some of you, but yeah, go back to Final Fantasy VII and play Final Fantasy VII. It's amazing. The OG Final Fantasy VII on PS1. And see for yourself. And let me know how you felt. But I remember the ending. I remember those good old days. Where have they gone? Seriously, where have they gone? What happened to those good old days? When you booted up Vagrant Story or Final Fantasy IX or literally any RPG, and you were so invested in the characters, in the dialogue, in their future, in their story. Come on, please tell me, at least some of you out there still remember these amazing moments. I remember going back to school, primary school, telling my friends, hey, did you play through disc 2 of Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 9? Did you see that? How did you solve that puzzle in Silent Hill 2? You know, the piano puzzle, I think. That was the hardest one. Back in the day when we had no YouTube, we had no game guides, we just had to play through on our own, ask our friends, went through that section. Those were the good old days. Yeah, I know, it's a far-fetched idea to long for a good old gaming history where you could just play through a few games on your own and then tell your friends in class, but still, it was great. And shooting games, not long ago, maybe 15 years ago, Battlefield 3 came out. I remember we had the beta, played through with my brother, and it was amazing. And when the full game came out, it was just like the beta, but better. Now, imagine playing this Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The beta is good, is great. Obviously, it has its flaws, but still, it's a great game. But then the full game comes out, full of microtransactions and all this bullcrap, and it just ruins the whole experience. The last shooting game that I had fun with was Battlefield 1. Yeah, the funly titled Battlefield 1. And it was amazing. It was great. I play that game to this day with my friends. Good old games, good old days, bro. Where have they gone? Why can't they just simply sit down and create a game for fun? For the experience. Now everything is about microtransactions. FIFA, for example, it's a great culprit. Now it's basically the pinnacle of corporate greed and everything in between, because you know there's literally no other football or soccer game to play. You have to resort to FIFA, right? Yes, we will buy the next installment, whether it's called EAFC 27 or FIFA or whatnot. Yes, we will invest heavily time, money, and whatever, recorded videos on YouTube and Twitch to promote your game and gameplay. Yes, we will invest the hours into your beta and alpha testing to make your games better. We will give you the feedback. But seriously, don't take us for granted. Please. Don't look in the mirror and say, hey, it's just another cash grab. I mean, look at this game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Sounds familiar? This game already came out 5, 10, 15 years ago. These maps are the old maps. We used to play these. At least, please, be nice to us. And let us gamers enjoy the games we love to play. Let us have our fun. Let us enjoy the very fact why we are gamers. To get away from reality. To play a role-play game. To think that we are soldiers. I don't know, fantasy characters. To get away from reality. Give us the good old nostalgia back.